Welcome back, everybody. I'm Chandler.
And I'm Celeste.
And this is
True North Terror. Did you miss us?
Maybe a little bit. I hope everybody enjoyed their holidays.
Yeah, we had a nice holiday season. Well, we still have
not
New
over
Year's
yet.
to go, but yeah, we had a nice Christmas. It's always nice. We had Christmas morning with the girl. Well, we should start with Christmas Eve. Because we had Christmas Eve together.
Yeah.
So we had Christmas Eve at our parents' house, just like us, mom, dad, the girls, and our partners.
Yep.
And it's really funny because last year, so our dad is like big on the meat, okay? Yeah. He loves a good slab of meat. But he last year he was like hyping up his, what did he make?
It was the same thing as a prime rib roast.
Okay, so he hyped up his prime rib roast like all day to me and Owen and the girls.
Wouldn't stop.
And I texted Chandler and Lex. I said, don't say a fucking word about Dad's prime rib roast. Everyone just eat in silence because we knew it was going to like bother him so much. And so, yeah, he literally, like, he was like, man, it's so good. It's so good. And he just kept looking at all of us for like our approval. And we just kept just like silently eating. And he was so bothered. And he still talks about it to this day. So this year, of course, he's like getting all hyped up for his prime rib roast again. I texted Chandler and Lex and I said, don't you say a fucking word about this roast. But then it blew back on us because the cut of meat wasn't the best. The flavor was great.
Oh, it tasted amazing.
Yeah, the cut of the meat was not the best, so Dad was really disappointed. So we all had to like really coddle him and tell him it was so good.
Yeah, he got hosed on the roast, but
we all
it was still good.
We all looked at each other. We're like, everyone say it's good. Everyone say it's good. But then Christmas morning, we did gifts to the girls, and then Chandler and Lexi came over. We do like a breakfast with Chandler and Lexi and the girls on Christmas. Then we went to Mom and Dad's again for presents, and then Uncle Todd and Auntie Mel's for our big dinner. And yeah, now we just have New Year's to go. What are you doing for New Year's? Do you guys have plans?
I think we're planning on hanging out with Lexi's siblings.
Okay.
Because we haven't in a few years now. But we don't know if her sister's working or not.
Oh, right, because she also works at the hospital, right?
Yeah, she's a nurse. So
okay. Well,
yeah, no. Depending on work schedules, we will be doing something with them. Probably not sure.
I don't know what we're doing either. I was supposed to work like New Year's Day at 6 a.m.
Gross.
But then me and another girl switched, and I'm doing New Year's Eve at 6 a.m. So I'm like, okay, we could do something, but I don't really know. Like, we leave for Mexico on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how much we'll want to do, but I invited Mom and Dad over for supper, and they never even gave me a straight answer. Yeah, it's like, okay. Rude. See, I need to adjust this mic. It keeps falling.
You're good.
But yeah, I guess we're back. We're sorry for the break. Me and the littler human were like deathly ill for a whole week. It was so brutal. I'll probably still cough quite a bit this episode even, but yeah, we're happy to be back, and I see now why podcasts I said that's so weird. Take like a 2-week vacation over the holidays because it's so hectic. Like, oh my god. Like, we're lucky that like we saw each other lots, but not to do this. So
no.
But yeah, we're back.
And we're not gonna sneak away from family dinner. Be like, hold on, guys, we're gonna go record a podcast.
BRB need to record.
So
yeah, it was a great holiday season. Happy it's pretty much over though, because it's just a lot, especially with 2 little kids.
Oh, for sure. It's overwhelming, but it's good. It's overwhelming in a good way. Yeah. Because then when you're done, you're like, oh, break until Easter. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, break until Blake's birthday for me.
Yeah.
Because I go hard on kids' birthdays.
Yeah,
So
you do. February's going to be busy.
Yeah, your birthday too.
Yeah, we're not doing anything crazy. Not this year.
You requested something at dinner.
Yeah, dino ribs.
Oh, dino ribs.
But Dad said they're too hard to smoke because it's too cold outside.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But we'll do something else. We'll do a good dinner. And I asked Lexi for my birthday. I asked her that I just want to go ice fishing all day.
Easy present?
With the fellas. That's what we did last year.
Chandler was like, Lexi, leave me the hell alone for my birthday. I'm going ice fishing.
Listen, no. I just want to like go out and not worry about anything for a day.
That's fair.
That's what I want to do. But anyways, let's get into this case.
Yeah,
what are you covering today?
So, do you remember in 2019 there was those two teenagers, they're 18 and 19, they're from BC, and they went on like a killing spree through BC, and then they actually ended up in Manitoba, in Gimli area, and everyone was on the lookout, and they ended up
Gimli or Gillum?
Gimli. Gillum? Gillum
is like way further.
I feel like Gimli.
Gimli is closer.
I don't know. It's in here at the end. Anyways, now you're psyching me out.
I thought you said Gillum the other day, but Gimli makes more sense because Gillum is far as fuck.
Okay, well, I'm going to Google it quick because you've really psyched me out.
Gillum is like
and now I'm worried that I like put it in my episode improperly, just assuming that it was Gimli because I'm more familiar with Gimli. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it should be Gimli. I feel like I remember it being Gimli.
Let's see. Gillum. Yeah.
So they went far north.
Well, when they were traveling in BC, it was north too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I remember like when it was all happening, and
it's in the summer, right?
Yeah, it was in it was in the summertime, and I think Owen was working maybe out of town at the time. And so I was just like super freaked out because we had lived in like the middle of nowhere at the time, and I was just like super freaked out. But yeah, so that's what we're covering today. So yeah, okay. So Cam Mcleod was 19 years old. He was raised in a stable, loving household on a large acreage in the Sprout Lake area, but was an introverted guy with a large online gaming presence. He was about 6'4" and 170 pounds. Despite him being an introverted guy, most people had nice things to say about him. He was very kind and caring. Bryer Schmegelsky, that's the last time I'm saying that last name, was 18 years old and was not as fortunate in the home life department. His parents separated when he was 8 years old, and he had split his childhood between his mother and her boyfriend at his grandmother's house and his father's house in Victoria. Bryer struggled with the separation and felt he wasn't getting the affection and nurturing he needed. During the summer months, he would work with his dad in construction. During the divorce, Bryer turned to online gaming on Steam and Twitch to escape his reality, and was part of a YouTube channel called Elusive Gaming. The profile picture for the channel was the Nazi eagle symbol.
Well, that's poor.
It goes downhill from here. Online, he earned a reputation for having a fascination with all things Nazi and Hitler, leading several of his online friends to stop playing and communicating with him. One Steam user later reported and shared pictures of Bryer from the fall of 2018 wearing a swastika armband and a hunting knife.
Yikes,
with
buddy.
the message blood and under, which translates to blood and honor in German. Other pictures showed him wearing a gas mask, holding a pellet rifle, and wearing military clothing. He was also known to make jokes about cutting people's heads off.
It's not a joke, people.
And masturbating to a picture of Hitler.
Yuck, buddy. Ew.
Yeah, really cool dude. Bryer had apparently became obsessed with all things Nazi when him and his dad had previously visited an army surplus store together. Bryer's dad was also known to police and became very vocal and outspoken as today's story unfolded. He had previous convictions involving his ex-wife and struggled with mental health. He had several other charges related to criminal harassment. Bryer and Cam were lifelong besties and had basically been inseparable since meeting in early school years. In the early summer of 2019, Bryer had approached Cam's sister and expressed romantic interest in her. She declined his advances, leaving Bryer in a terrible mood. Also, like, bro code. You don't go after your BFF's sister.
That's weird, man.
Disgust. On July 12th, 2019, Bryer and Cam decided to quit their night shift jobs at the Port Albany Walmart and told their families they were heading up to the Yukon in search of better job opportunities. They hopped in their red and silver Dodge Ram pickup truck, that was hard to say for some reason, with their Bigfoot camper attached and hit the road, first stopping in Nanaimo, just over an hour away. They went to a Cabela's store and beelined for the guns and ammunition, where they purchased an SKS semi-automatic rifle, along with a box of 20 rounds of ammunition under Cam's possession license. Next, they caught the ferry and headed to mainland of BC. The next day, on July 13th, Cam sent his girlfriend a text saying, "Seriously sorry, but I'm not coming back." She tried to call him several times and asking what he meant and if everything was okay, but he just kept hanging up or screening her calls, which is like hella ominous.
Yeah, buddy.
23-year-olds Lucas Fowler and I don't think he's 23. China Deese were enjoying the beautiful countryside of British Columbia. China was from North Carolina and had just arrived in BC a week earlier to visit her Australian boyfriend Lucas, who was working in BC on a ranch in the Fort Nelson area. For the first week together, they spent most of the time on the ranch, but their inner adventure called them and they decided to take a road trip together. Lucas was the epitome of an Australian dude with long blonde hair and a massive beaming smile. He was the youngest of 4 children and spent most of his time outdoors four-wheeling, dirt biking, hiking, and camping. He was a mechanic apprentice where he saved almost all of his money to go towards traveling. China was a loving, free-spirited young woman who had a deep love and appreciation for culture, travel, and new experiences. She was known to be incredibly kind and always concerned for others' well-being. So just very empathetic.
Cool people.
Yeah, empathetic, cool people. China was also the youngest sibling, and they had met in Croatia in 2017 when they were both... I know. Like, this is such a meet
That's
cute.
cool.
So they met in Croatia in 2017 when they were both traveling. A year later, they embarked on a road trip across the U.S., hiking through the Rockies and Yellowstone down to San Diego. From San Diego, they went into Mexico and Central America. They spent a couple of months with China's family over the Christmas season in 2018. But Lucas's 90-day U.S. visa expired and he wasn't ready to go back to Australia. So instead, he found a ranching position in Fort Nelson, BC, where he could still stay closer to China. He had a skill for anything mechanics and repaired ranch vehicles, even taking on the challenge of getting a 1985 Econoline van running. Lucas's bosses were amazed that he was able to get the van chugging along again and decided to gift it to him. Lucas and China were free and kindred spirits who loved traveling, adventure, and each other. They planned a 2-week road trip in the van going up to camp in Alaska. They left the ranch on July 13th, 2019, not knowing it would be their final adventure. On July 14th, there were reports of them pulled over near Liard River Hot Springs, appearing to have issues with their van. One man pulled over, offering his help, but Lucas insisted he knew how to get it fixed and declined the help. They were enjoying a little picnic together and informed the man they would soon be calling for a tow truck, but they would have to take a little walk to get better service. So just like, they're just vibing.
They're just chilling.
Yeah, like, they just seem like such go-with-the-flow people, which, like, I cannot imagine because I'm not.
Vans broke down. I guess this is a good enough spot for a picnic.
Yeah, we'll have a picnic, and, like, later on we'll walk and get better service to call a tow truck.
I'd be freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I just, like, they just seemed so cool.
That's cool.
The man continued his journey, only a few kilometers away to his hiking destination, making a mental note to check in on the couple the next morning. Around 10:40 that evening, Alondra Hall, a road maintenance worker, passed by the van and noticed a man standing in the middle of the road, having a noticeably heated argument with another man and a woman. On July 15th, around 3:25 a.m., Cam's truck makes a stop at a gas station on Highway 97, about 160 kilometers away from where Lucas and China's truck broke down. At 4:16 a.m., the truck is spotted 220 kilometers away. At 6:20 a.m., two bodies are noticed by a truck driver in the ditch near the van. He stopped to find Lucas and China's lifeless bodies. At 6:47 a.m., Alondra, the road worker, asked a coworker to check on the van because she couldn't stop thinking about it. Her coworker arrived to where Alondra said the van was and found a chaotic scene. She immediately called 911 and at 7:22 saying that two bodies had been found in the ditch face down. They were only 10 feet away from the van and about 15 feet apart from each other. The Fort Nelson RCMP responded to the call arriving at 10:30 a.m., which is like 3 hours later.
Yeah, holy fuck.
They found 5 shell casings as well as the blue van with the side door open and the back window shot out. Shortly after, a local coroner arrived on the scene and observed that both Lucas and China had been shot. Later that day, around 4 p.m., Cam's truck is seen at a gas station near Whitehorse in the Yukon, almost 650 kilometers north of the crime scene. On July 16th, the RCMP continued their investigation with officers from the Major Crimes Unit arriving around 9 a.m. They noted that the van was parked on the shoulder of the northbound lane. They followed some footprints and found China's cell phone as well as her Visa card, but could not locate Lucas's phone or wallet. On the same day, 64-year-old Leonard Dick, aka Len, leaves his home in Vancouver with plans to go on a trip to spot grizzly bears. Also, he is also a super cool dude. He shared his plans to return on July 24th with his wife and left in his Toyota RAV4. Len was a professor at the University of British Columbia who taught botany. He was also known in the botany community for his research and contributions
There you go.
in plant sciences, especially seaweed. He was like amazed at how resilient seaweed was.
Interesting.
So that was one of his like main focuses. He is remembered as a teacher who was committed to his students and captivating and engaging lectures. His passion for education and botany was obvious and infectious. He was an avid outdoorsman who loved anything nature. He planned to travel the new Niska Highway up to Stewart, BC, and then up towards Hyarder, Hyarder, Hyarder. Hyarder.
Herder?
Sure. Alaska, making a loop at Dease Lake and returning home. He kept in touch with his wife during his travels, promising to do check-ins whenever possible. On July 17th, one day after departure, Len checked in with his wife, letting her know that he was able to see some grizzlies and that he was leaving Stewart Lake and on his way into Alaska. His wife Helen knew that he would be out of cell phone range for a little while and might not hear from him for a few days, like it is Alaska.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on July 17th, Cam reached out to his family reporting that they were in Whitehorse, Yukon, and this was the last time that his family ever heard from him. Later that day, Alaska resident Ken Albertson was traveling on the Alaska Highway near Haines Junction, Yukon, when he decided he needed to take a quick nap. He pulled over, but within a few minutes of his rest stop, another truck pulled over 50 meters ahead of him. A young man got out of the truck holding a long gun and walked along the tree line towards him. Ken was like, "The fuck? Hunter?" ?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What's
going on, buddy?
He observed his body change into a creeping motion at the same time the truck ahead started backing up towards him. Ken knew nothing good was coming out of this and sped away. He tried to get a look of the driver while speeding away, but the driver covered his face, turning his head away. The next day, July 18th, Len's wife Helen saw a gas charge on their bank account at about 7:46 p.m. She saw the charge and assumed that he was on his way home. The same day, police announced that the couple found in the ditch was 23-year-old Australian Lucas Fowler and 24-year-old North Carolina China Dease. The The RCMP asked for tips and assistance from the public. On the same day, Cam and Bryer stopped along the Alaska Highway, as well as in Dease Lake, where they bought chocolate bars and gloves.
Gloves?
Gloves. The next day, on July 19th, early in the morning, Dease Lake received a report of a truck burning on a pullout on Highway 37. They quickly responded to the scene, where they also received a report of a body a few kilometers south of the scene. The body was badly battered with head injuries and burn marks, and they also observed a large pool of blood nearby. The same morning, at approximately 11:40, Cam and Bryer were seen at a gas station in Terrace, BC, a 6-hour drive from where the burning truck and body were discovered. However, the two teens were now driving a silver Toyota RAV4, but had added racing stripes with electrical tape.
You fucking losers.
Don't be suspicious.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Make it go faster.
The police continued their investigation into the burned out truck and unidentified body. They scanned the VIN and discovered the truck was registered to Cam. The police contacted Cam's family and discovered that him and Bryer were together. The police broadcasted photos of both Cam and Bryer reporting that they were missing. It's like at this time they were assuming that they're victims of
whatever
a crime.
The fuck's going on, yeah.
Yeah. The police also learned from Cam's family that him and Bryer had both quit their jobs and left on a spontaneous trip to look for jobs in the Yukon after Bryer had been rejected by Cam's sister. Police were also able to contact Cam's girlfriend, who reported that Cam and Bryer had been saving up for this trip, and Cam had texted her on July 13th saying he would not be returning. This made the police a little concerned, like why would they say that they weren't planning to return? Yeah. So they were a little bit sus at this point.
Yeah, as it should be.
On July 19th, the autopsies of Lucas and China were also conducted. It was found that they were both shot to death and both had entrance and exit wounds. This was important to the investigation because it was going to give details such as if there were multiple shots or angles, which could also indicate multiple suspects, or that the victims were trying to get away or moving. So this gave the ballistics experts really important information for the investigation. The next day on July 20th, the police released a composite after Alondra, the road worker, was able to give a detailed description of the men she saw arguing on the road. The police continued to try to locate Cam and Bryer using cell phone pings and following their transactions. Cam's last purchase was on the day they left at Cabela's, where he purchased the gun and ammunition. Bryer had continued using his debit card at gas stations along the way. However, both men's cell phones were turned off and not able to be traced. Canadians were informed to be on the lookout for the men, which led to a sighting of them in Lawrence, Saskatchewan on July 21st.
Man, they're far.
Yeah, now they're all the way in Saskatchewan, which is that's a long drive. The following day, on July 22nd, the investigation turned when Cam and Bryer went from missing persons to suspects after the police were able to match the ammunition at both crime scenes. Later that day, they were spotted near Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, still driving a silver RAV4. The police publicly released a sketch of the man found dead near the burning truck, and Helen, Len's wife, immediately was able to recognize this as Len and called the police. She explained his travel plans and that he was driving a silver why can I not say Toyota RAV4. She said her husband would also sleep on the side of roads and pullouts in his car while traveling his adventures. The RCMP continued to investigate the area around the burned vehicle, where they found Cam's damaged SIM card as well as his Walmart employee ID. They also found gloves and chocolate bar wrappers. In the early evening of July 22nd, police in Gillam, Manitoba, received reports of a burning car. So I did write Gillam, not Gimli.
There you go.
Good for me.
There you go.
Around the burning car were unspent shells matching the empty shell casings found around the other crime scenes. The homicide investigators from China, Lucas, and Len's investigations met up and determined that Cam and Bryer were the prime suspects in both of their investigations. Cam and Bryer were both added to the CIPC as suspects, and police were now on the lookout to make an arrest. Across Canada, bulletins were sent out with Cam and Bryer's information and orders to arrest if found. On July 23rd, Lucas's dad, Stephen, held a media conference in Canada. He was a senior police officer in New South Wales, so he had a unique perspective into the murder of his son and his girlfriend. He pleaded for assistance from the public, saying that the losses have destroyed their families. He said that Lucas and China were a match, quickly falling in love and planning a future of travel together. He said that since they met, they had been inseparable and their love story ended far too soon. Two young, free-spirited people had their entire lives ahead of them and had been senselessly murdered. On the same day, the RCMP announced publicly that Cam and Bryer were no longer missing persons, but the prime suspects in the murder of Len, Lucas, and China. They stated that a nationwide arrest warrant had been issued, and the police also publicly announced that the vehicle found in Gillam belonged to Len, but was stolen by Bryer and Cam and then burned while trying to evade police and buy themselves some more time. Which also, I feel like if you're trying to like evade police and not be suspicious, why would you burn a vehicle? Like, is the purpose just to get rid of like the evidence? Because like they're gonna find the VIN, and figure out like a big burning vehicle is gonna gather some attention.
Yeah, idiots.
All Canadians, including me, were now on high alert, waiting for the two young men, but were also warned not to approach them as they were considered armed and dangerous. Police told residents to call 911 immediately with any sightings. However, there actually was one missed opportunity to arrest the pair, which I did not know about this. Bryer and Cam had been pulled over by a local Indigenous police in Tatasqueyoc, Cree Nation. Since it is a dry county, local police were doing stops and checking cars to ensure there was no alcohol. Cam and Bryer were stopped during one of these checks, but did not have any alcohol on them, so they were allowed to continue.
Fuck.
Only a few hours after the routine stop is when the local police received the bulletin that Cam and Bryer were wanted. But by then, it was far too late.
Son of a bitch.
Investigators received preliminary reports from the firearms lab on July 24th. The findings concluded that two separate guns had been used in the murders of Lucas and China, but both of the same calibers. One of the guns used in the double murder was also used in Len's murder. Police applied and were granted for several different warrants, including for Cabela's in Nanaimo, where the gun was purchased. They also obtained warrants for both of their homes, where they found maps and additional ammunition. And so, like, it appeared that this had been, like, being planned for a while.
Yeah.
In Manitoba, the RCMP and Royal Canadian Air Force began expansive searches aided by local Indigenous communities around the Gillam area, where the burned-out truck was discovered. They were aided with helicopters with infrared cameras. On July 29th, their search proved fruitful when they finally discovered some of Cam and Bryer's items, including more ammunition. The items were found in the Sundance area of Gillam, around a 45-minute drive or 13-hour walk from the burned-out vehicle in Gillam.
Fuck, that's a long walk.
Yeah. The police believed that they were fleeing on foot and that they would eventually make their way along the Nelson River to the Hudson Bay.
Yeah.
On August 1st, more of their stuff was discovered along the Nelson River, including Cam's backpack, wallet, clothes, and more ammunition. On August 7th, two deceased bodies were found with two SKS semi-automatic rifles.
The rifles were found with them?
Yeah. Okay. One of the guns was the one bought at Cabela's, however, they were not able to determine where the other gun was from. Police also uncovered a camera that eventually was determined to be Len's. The camera revealed 3 photos and 6 videos. However, the RCMP has not released those images or videos in an effort to protect the families of the 3 victims. The RCMP held a press briefing on September 27th, revealing that the videos and images were of Cam and Bryer. In the videos, they admit to the 3 murders, saying they felt no remorse and that they intended on killing more people. They also said they would be committing suicide and asked for their families to have them both cremated. The videos did not reveal any motive for the murders. Both Cam and Bryer were unemotional and matter of fact. The RCMP also gave more details on how they had both died. It is believed that the young men realized they were cornered by police. They knew police dogs and helicopters were searching for them, and it was likely only a matter of time before they would be caught.
Coward.
They considered crossing the Nelson River, but it was deep and fast moving, and it was unlikely that they would be able to successfully make the crossing. And behind them was a steep embankment that they were able to get down without too much trouble, but there was no way they were going to be able to climb up. There was nowhere to go. The police detailed that the first video was 58 seconds long, with both Cam and Bryer in the video. This is the one where they take responsibility for the murders. They say they're going to steal a boat on the Hudson Bay and travel to either Africa or Europe. In the second video, Bryer said that they had arrived at the river. It was deep and fast moving, and they might have to pivot their plan and just commit suicide, and Cam agrees. Again, they took credit for all three of the murders. The third video is 32 seconds long. Bryer says they have both shaved and are going back to kill more people and expect that they will be dead within the week. The fourth video is 19 seconds long, and they are just saying that they're going to shoot themselves. And the fifth video is 6 seconds long. It just seems to be accidental, like they pressed the record and then turned it off. And in the sixth and final video, it's 31 seconds long. They both express their final wishes, including to be cremated. The police detailed the images as one with Bryer laying on his side posing with a rifle. And the second image appears to be accidental again. And then the third picture is Cam taking like a selfie style photo. He's like, final selfie before I die.
A bunch of losers.
Forensic analysis was done on both Cam and Bryer's remains, and it was determined that it was likely that Cam first shot Bryer and then shot himself, which is kind of shocking to me. I thought that it would be the other way around. Bryer seemed like the more troubled one. Like, I thought it'd be more likely he would shoot Cam and then kill himself. There was a lot of mixed reaction from the public about the entire case. Some were happy they were no longer at large and really didn't care whether they were alive or dead. Others were upset that they weren't alive to face justice. Some of the public criticized the police for not finding them sooner. However, many locals expressed that it was actually incredible they were found at all. The locals also pointed out that the police were able to recover the camera without any water damage, giving the public and Cam and Bryer's family some closure. In the end, there were no answers of why Bryer and Cam did what they did. They set off on a road trip, and the belief is the intention of the road trip was to murder and terrorize people, not to find better jobs.
Yeah.
It isn't believed that they went out looking for any specific targets or people. They were just crimes of opportunity. Bryer's dad, Alan, sent a book he wrote to the newspaper to publish that basically blamed the system for failing him and his son. He tried to explain why Bryer did what he did and spoke about his own struggles with the law and mental health. He wrote that he was diagnosed as delusional, which he disputed, which is like... Okay.
Your point is invalid,
exactly.
sir. You are delusional.
Point proven.
Go fuck yourself.
He also was interviewed by 60 Minutes in Australia, where he refused to say that Bryer was a murderer. In December of 2019, he also sent numerous threatening emails to Provincial Deputy Minister Bobby Plecky? Don't know. He also sent emails to BC Premier John Horgan asking for restraining orders against Bobby, which is like, you're sending threatening things to Bobby,
what
bro.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
He called for a federal investigation accusing Bobby and her father Robert of corruption. He also included his son's autopsy report. On December 26th, Bobby answered a call from Alan threatening her and claiming he knew where to find her.
Yikes.
On December 28th, he sent her a picture of a rifle with no explanation, and it happened to be the exact same type of gun used in the homicides and suicides. During all the threatening calls and emails, he was already on probation for 3 other charges of harassment. Eventually, there was a peace bond that went public, and since then, he has kept quiet and out of the public eye. I just thought it was interesting that he was just so unhinged.
Maybe like lock him up.
Yeah. Probably a good idea.
Fuck.
Lucas's dad gave one final statement. He said Lucas and China were deeply in love with each other and experiencing the world together. China had not yet met Lucas's family, but his family already adored her. He said that the day she stole Lucas's heart, she became a member of their family. He said their family was so happy they had found each other and could tell that they were perfect for each other even across the world.
Wow.
Their positivity drew everyone in, they made everyone laugh, and China's mom shared that China wanted her children to have an Australian accent. Leonard's wife Helen and their 2 sons Ben and Philip felt Len's loss immensely. He is remembered as having incredible musical abilities and a sharp mind. He had dry wit and incredible knowledge of anything plant science and was adored by his students at the university. Just a super cool guy that loved nature, his family, and students. So yeah, just 3 super
cool
fucking cool people. Yeah, like,
and these fucking losers decided, I'm gonna shoot them.
Yeah,
fuck you, man.
Like, they just
rest in distress.
Yeah, such a
fucking Nazi pig.
Yeah, that too.
Fuck you.
Like, I get how Bryer ended up the way that he ended up, because his dad was obviously cuckoo nuts,
psycho. Yeah.
But I'm not sure how Cam got roped into that. But
rich kid trying to act tough, or that's so fucking ridiculous.
I know. I just like, and if you see pictures of China and Lucas and Len, like, they all just seemed so wholesome and cool.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, for real. For real.
That is awful.
Agreed.
Man. Well, now I'm upset.
Well, the next episode is way worse.
Yeah, so great.
We have to batch record because I'm going to Mexico next week.
Yeah.
And we're already behind. So
yes, we are. But hey, that's all right. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it happen.
Yep. Okay, well,
thank you for listening. Stay spooky, True Northers.
Terror is closer than you think.
Wow.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of True North Terror. If you like our podcast, please help us grow by leaving a rating and review. If you have a story you want us to hear, or your own personal story you want to hear on the pod as a listener story, email us at truenorthterrorpod@gmail.com. Join us next week for another episode of True North Terror.